Hello country girls, my name is Rebecca. I'm a GP based in Elgin in Scotland, and the team of country girls have asked me to come on here to tell you all about breast cancer screening. That is because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and invited me a few months ago to talk about cervical cancer screening, and you guys were awesome and got really involved and got really lovely messages. So I'm hoping that I'll do the same thing with you today. So I'm going to talk about all things to do with breast screening and self-check. So if you're in an area or small children around, whatever, time to pop in your earphones or just come back and watch this video later. So I don't mind what you call them, what size your breasts are, doesn't matter. Everyone needs to know how to do this and know about breast cancer screening. Breast cancer can affect about 1 in 7 women in their lifetime. And it can also affect men as well. So it's really important to talk to your chaps in your life about it, talk to other people you know, make sure people know how to do it. I'll go out some good resources at the end as well. There's a few things I'm not going to touch on today, and that is we know there are certain genes that can cause breast cancer. And if you know you've got those genes, you'll be on a different pathway and you're probably already engaged with the different ways that you'll get treated. If you're worried that you might have the genes for it, you know, pretty much everyone in your woman in your family has had it, particularly under the age of 60, then talk to your GP. Everywhere's slightly different, which is why I'm not going to go into it too much in terms of the next step onto there about getting tested. So just first step is just to speak to your local GP because they'll know what local services are available to you. But breast cancer screening is something that applies to everybody. So at the age of 47, you'll get a letter through the post that'll tell you where to go. It can be somewhere really bizarre. So they have these mobile screening units that can be sort of leisure centre car parks. Usually they're hospitals or health centres, but you know, don't be alarmed if it's somewhere really random. And you go in for a mammogram. Now, a mammogram is a type of x-ray, and so that's basically what we're looking for is abnormalities that you won't even be able to feel yet, but get picked up on a picture and then can get sorted, seen early and treated early, because that's the whole point of screening, is catching things as early as we can to give everyone the best chances of getting it sorted. So when you go to your breast cancer screening, you'll go in a room with a female mammographer and you'll strip off from the top half. There's basically 2 bits of plastic and your breast has to go in between those 2 bits of plastic. It will then compress on your breast. Now, this is why some women find it painful. Mainly women say it's uncomfortable, but it's not for that long. It's just for a minute or so. And obviously they'll do both sides. If you have breast implants, don't worry. You need to just let them know. Sometimes it can make the images just a bit harder to read, but if they know that, then they can be a bit more prepared for it, but you should still go for your screening. So once they've done that, obviously the images will get looked at. It can pick up any sorts of things, so don't worry if you then have to get invited to the next step, which is usually an ultrasound and a biopsy at the breast clinic, but lots of things can get picked up. So, and it's easy for me to say, don't worry about it. But obviously, you know, there's things it will pick up as well, because it just picks up any abnormality. So after you've done that at the age of 47, you'll get invited every 3 years up to the age of 71. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy and people feel very passionate about getting screened earlier than 47. And I completely understand why. It's a very emotive subject to talk about cancer. But the screening for breast cancer under the age of 47 is quite difficult to do with a mammogram. And that is because your breast tissue is denser the younger you are. And also we have to be conscious that it is an x-ray. So it's an exposure to radiation. So we don't want to just keep exposing you to x-rays because that can then cause cancer itself, which obviously we don't want to do. So that's the screening process. So every 3 years from the age of 47, a few minutes of being a bit uncomfortable, but could potentially, you know, pick up an early cancer that you won't have detected yourself. But I will now talk about self-check. So I've done a bit of a Blue Peter moment here. I've got an old pillow, an old bra and a couple of oranges. Ta-da! Oh, comedy moment. An orange has gone rogue. There we go. Right. So the first thing to know is that there's no wrong way necessarily to do there's no right way particularly to do a self-check. Just if you can do them and you getting to know yourself, you know what your breasts feel like, because everyone is different. So I can't tell you hand on heart, if you feel something in this area, it's definitely cancer or it's definitely wrong. Everyone is different. So getting to know yourself is really important, and you're looking for a change. So anything, even if it's not a sort of a discrete round lump, which is what people think cancers are, even if it's just a thickening, then that's important to know about. And if you do pick anything up, book and see your GP. I know GP appointments, blah, 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 I'm aware, but it's really important and it's really urgent. So do persevere and make sure you do get seen and you do get examined. So my top tip is firstly to know where you need to be examining. So you actually want to be checking from the collarbone into the armpit, down and round the breast. You want to use your rib cage as sort of a hard backing. So you basically, best way to do it is use your fingers, your sort of fingertips in sort of a flat pattern, and just press it into the rib cage. So you're pressing your skin into your rib cage, and you're feeling all around with the flat of a hand. You want to be feeling all around the breast, around the nipple, right up the chest and right into the armpit. The armpit's really important because you get these little lymph nodes which become enlarged if you've got anything going on in your breast. So sometimes you'll pick something up here but not in the breast itself. It's also really important to look at your skin. So look to see if there's any rashes or anything that doesn't look quite right. Pay attention to the nipple, any discharge, if it's suddenly inverted, if you've got a bit of eczema on your nipple, then that's a sign as well. The other thing, the reason why I've got oranges, I'm not mental, but you've got what we call skin peel changes. So you see this sort of dimpling pattern here on the orange. That's also a sign of swelling. And so sometimes you might not feel anything, but your skin's changing. So that's an important sign, and we'd refer someone straight away on what we call the 2-week rule, which is any query cancers get referred on that to be seen as soon as possible. So that's a self-check, basically, in a nutshell. You don't have to do it necessarily every week. You don't have to do it, as long as you're doing it once a month, you're getting to know yourself, then you'll be able to pick up a change. And if you have any concerns, just straight away pick up the phone and call a GP. And that's how to really kind of safeguard yourself and keep an eye out for the signs and symptoms. I will give a shout out now to Copperfield. They're an amazing organisation. They've got loads of information, far more than I'll be able to cover in a short video. But they're really, really good. And they've got loads of information on their Instagram page and their website. And you can even do reminders for when to do a self-check. So you can sign up for that as well. There's also loads of stuff at the moment because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There is lots of stuff out there at the moment. Just make sure it's from a sort of a reputable source. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know some women feel a bit kind of silly, they should sort of know this stuff by now, but I'm happy if you want to drop me a message. Obviously, I can't kind of give any personal medical advice, which might be go and see your GP, but if you just want to just check or you're not quite sure, then I'm happy to answer any messages about that. But that's all from me. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found this useful and you feel empowered to start doing self-checks and know when you're going to get screened. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.